Hey YouTube, what is up? I know I haven't been making a ton of videos as of late. There is a reason for that, and I just wanted to say, first of all, I gained 12 subscribers, and that's a big thing for me. I have 400 subscribers, and I went to 412 in like a weekend. And I just wanted to say to those of you that have subscribed in that time period, and to those of you that have subscribed in the past, and those of you that just watch these videos, I really do appreciate you guys doing this. I really enjoy YouTube. It really isn't about making money for me. I just really, hope to make videos that people like. I obviously wouldn't be making videos for 5 years and have like 400 subscribers if I was in it for the money. I would have quit long ago. But I just want to say thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed the videos I've made, and I want to explain why I haven't been making a ton of videos as of late. Now, if you've been subscribed to me in the past, you know that I have a propensity to do some things that could possibly kill me. And it's usually something innocuous and then just turns out to be something that could literally have killed me. So I'm going to give two examples of that really quick. In previous videos, if you've subscribed to me in the past, you've seen, examples of this. I once bought a water bottle to stop drinking soda. I bought a really big, basically, it looked like a plastic bag that kind of like inflated into a water bottle. And that is what I was drinking a ton of water from. I did that to cut down on soda. So anytime I wanted to drink something that was usually like soda or something like that, I'd fill this big bottle up, drink it all, and then I wouldn't drink soda. Good idea in retrospect. It wasn't the greatest idea though, because I eventually hypersaturated myself, really dropped the level of electrolytes in my system, and I almost basically could have killed myself if I kept going at that rate, because when you hyperhydrate your cells, you can explode them because they become really, really big. It's basically how that woman died in the Wii for a Wii thing, where you basically drank a bunch of water and then whoever peed first lost. So there was a woman that did something like that, drank a bunch of water to win a Nintendo Wii. She died because she held in her pee and then her cells basically ruptured. So I didn't die from that, thankfully, but something as innocuous as drinking a bunch of water almost killed me at one point. And then another example of that is I have a gooseberry bush in the back of my house. I really do enjoy gooseberries. If you don't know what they are, they're black berries that are really, really spherical and really, really sweet and really soft. But I don't like sweet and soft berries. I like sour berries. I like, sour stuff in general. So I ate some gooseberries when they were sour, and I was eating, 10 to 15 a day. I wasn't feeling good. My stomach was hurting. And basically what I was doing was eating a bunch of hydrogen cyanide, because when gooseberries are not ripe, they are full of hydrogen cyanide. I did not know that. I was basically giving myself hydrogen cyanide poisoning. I almost gave myself a stomach ulcer, which kind of sucked. So in the past, there have been things that I've done which weren't the smartest, seemed innocuous, and could have killed me. And I'm here today with the latest installment of that. That's the best way to put it. Basically, if you hadn't known me in the past, but if you have seen some of my older videos, you can see that I was a bit of a chubbier guy. At one point, I was 4'6", and I was 200 pounds. That was about sophomore year in high school. So just to give you guys a time frame, I was a pretty short and pretty big kid. Right now, I'm 21 and I'm 6 feet tall, 175, weight 175. So you could really, I guess, see the disparity and how chubby I used to be, and how the fact that when I was 4'6", I weighed more than I do now when I'm 6 feet tall. So yeah, I was a pretty big guy. And to compensate for that, I basically just started dieting, drinking water, like I said in the past. Just, after it almost killed me, I drank a little bit less water, and I started vigorously exercising. And because I exercised pretty hard, oh man, did you see this Reinhardt kill I just got? Holy shit, I forgot that happened. That was really cool. Anyway, sorry about that, I got distracted. Anyway, what happened to me was basically I start exercising pretty vigorously. I exercise 1 hour every other day, but it's very vigorous exercise to compensate for the fact that I'm a pretty lazy motherfucker. So what I usually do is exercise a lot for an hour and then just lay down for the rest of the time. So because I've been doing very vigorous training, I kind of fucked up my chest muscle a little bit, fucked up my pectoral, and it was giving me a little bit of pain on the outside of my chest and a little bit on the inside where the pectoral connects to the breastbone. So I went to an urgent care facility to talk to them, and, because I said I had chest pain, they decided to do an EKG, which is basically monitoring my heart rate, and they found that my heart was fine, except for the fact that I had something called incomplete right ventricle bland. I can't even say it right because it's such an alliteration of words. It is incomplete right ventricle branch blockage. I think it's what it's called. It's not an issue at all. It's something you're born with. It is a, I guess, congenital thing. You basically have a slowdown of your heartbeat, the electrical impulses slow down at one point and keep going. 15% of the population has it. It's not something that is a health concern at all, but because I did have that, they sent me to a cardiologist. Basically, they referred me to a cardiologist, And what I had to do was get, some more testing done from a cardiologist because they were just a premier care facility. They were not, really just anything more than an urgent care thing. So they couldn't tell me anything else. They didn't want, me to have a heart attack or anything like that, just in case I was fucking up my heart somehow. So they sent me to a cardiologist. But in order to go to the cardiologist, I had to go to my healthcare, my primary healthcare physician, who I hadn't gone to in about 3 years because I was pretty healthy. So I had to go there. I had to get a regular checkup. And then I had to book a referral with the heart doctor, which I did. And then I had to go to the heart doctor, which I did. So it took a lot of time, going between doctors, setting up appointments, referrals, and all that nonsense. So eventually I did go to the heart doctor and I got what's called an echocardiogram. An echocardiogram is where they basically take a sonogram of your heart. I just hit my microphone, I'm sorry. They basically give you a sonogram of your heart and look at it, and you're like, it's like when you have a kid in your stomach. Women do that sometimes. They point the microphone thing at the stomach and like, oh, you want to see its legs and its heart? And that's basically what they did with me, except they showed me my own fucking heart, which is some crazy trippy shit. And when they did that, you can hear your heartbeat at points, and that is a really creepy thing, to hear your heart beating outside of your body. And you don't know what your heartbeat's supposed to sound like, so it's a little freaky to hear it too, because it doesn't sound right. It sounds almost robotic. So that's what I was like, sitting down, listening to my own heartbeat, having an existential crisis about whether or not I'm a 21-year-old with some kind of fucked up heart. And basically, because my phone is really dumb, it decided to send one of the most important possible phone calls of my life straight to voicemail. So my heart doctor never talked to me. He just left me a message telling me to call him back because they did find an abnormality with my heart. Basically, my left ventricle, or is it the main chamber? He said left ventricle main chamber. So whichever one of the parts of my heart that is, was slightly enlarged by 0.5 centimeters, where on average is 5.5 centimeters. I think the diameter of mine was 6 centimeters. Now, that could be a bad thing because an enlarged heart could mean a weakened heart, and the walls of your heart could fail over time, meaning you basically have a heart attack. Now, as a 21-year-old, that's not something I enjoyed hearing, and I was really confused as to how I could have this heart condition. I understand the right ventricle blanch block of blue thing, the RBBB. I understand that because that's a congenital thing that I was born with, and that's just how my heart formed. That makes sense, but you don't form an enlarged heart. That's just not something that happens in the way that I had it. So I was wondering what had caused it, and I just got in contact with my heart doctor a little while ago, and he told me that because I vigorously exercise, because I exercise very hard pretty much, my heart had to compensate for that. And it's not like I have the bad version of an enlarged heart. I actually have what's called an athlete's heart. And I didn't understand what that meant, but he explained it as because my heart rate is really low. Obviously, none of you guys know what my average heart rate is. Also, how did I not kill that fucking Farah? Anyway, my average heart rate resting is like 40. I have a really, really low heart rate. It's just something my family has. My dad has that too. His is around 45. We just have really, really slow beating hearts. So basically, because my heart beats so slow and because I was putting a excessive amount of physical demand on it, my heart had to adapt. The average resting heart rate for most people is around 60, and for some people, that heart rate resting average could be around 75. So because my heart beats at least 1/3 or 1/2 the speed of other people's hearts, it had to compensate for the fact that I was demanding more blood. So the way that it compensated is by slightly enlarging a part of my heart so that it could fill with more blood. Instead of beating faster, it just beats a little heavier. And that's not something that's bad. Apparently, it's just something that athletes develop, hence why it's called athlete's heart. If I were to stop exercising so vigorously and putting such a demand on it, my heart would just go back to a normal size because I don't need it to pump the same amount of blood, pretty much. If your heart is weak and you have a enlarged left ventricle or main chamber, that's a bad thing because that means your heart is weakening and you could have a heart attack. But because my heart is actually very strong from exercising, it is basically just enlarging to pump more blood. So my heart is actually transforming to suit my needs, which is a crazy thing to hear. So apparently I don't have a heart condition that is life-threatening in any way. I actually have a super healthy heart, which is a good thing to know as a 21-year-old, but all in all, that's why I haven't been making videos, because basically I've just been taxiing between different doctors, calling doctors' offices, booking appointments, going to premier care facilities, getting heart echocardiograms and some garbage like that. So that's why I haven't been able to make a ton of videos as of late, basically because I've just been busy trying to make sure I'm not going to die as a 21-year-old. But now all that nonsense is done, and I finally have free time. I don't have to, spend my time going to different doctors and specialists and laying down and having my heart listened to. I have free time again, so I can finally make some more videos. I can basically relax a little bit and play some video games, which I haven't been able to do for like the last month. And basically, once school stopped, I had to do all this heart nonsense. So it's good to have free time again. It's good to be making these videos again. And I just wanted to thank you guys again. Thank you to anybody that subscribed to my channel or even just watched one of my videos. I really do appreciate it. I don't, try and do this for the money. I get an average of like 24 views per video. I hope you guys enjoy the videos I make. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. If you like the video, don't forget to click subscribe because it's free, it's fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.